Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com, and I have the pleasure of talking to Laura Turzenski today. Laura is just coming off a spectacular amateur MMA debut. She is in Wisconsin, and she trains out of Roufusport. Laura, good morning. It had to be an exciting time. Before we get into that, how you feeling? How you feel now, a week later?
I'm feeling great. I feel fully recovered from the adrenaline. I'm just ready to start training again and get back in there for my next fight.
Listen, before we even talk about that fight, since this is the first time, the people are meeting you, I want to talk about, how you got to this point. I know you had a boxing background before you got into MMA and started training at Roufusport. So tell me about how old were you and what was it that, got you interested in to start training boxing?
So I started boxing just casually, like once a week, basic personal training back in 2018. I was 22 years old. And then right at the beginning of 2019, I started taking it more seriously and decided I want to start sparring. I want to start training to fight. And that was about an 6 to 8 month period where I had intensely trained boxing, and then around 6 to 7 months, I had 2 amateur fights. And I had always wanted to start boxing since I was in high school, and I was always super into male-dominated sports. Like, I always wanted to play hockey and football and all those sports. And, finally, when I was older, I was able to, afford to do it on my own, because my parents are like, nope, we're not going to support that in high school or just in general in college. So once I had my first job, I paid to go to a boxing gym and start doing it, and I loved it. I loved how disciplined you had to be with it and how serious you had to be about it, because obviously at the end of the day, someone's going to hurt you, so you have to take it very seriously. So that was kind of the main reason why I had started.
And then real life, actually, you met Lenny, the Gorilla Rufati, who, you've been dating him for a while, and he's a professional fighter now. And now you joined up with him at Roufusport, and then you had listen, I had so much fun watching your fight. It was awesome. I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, the first round came out, and, you took some punches from her, but you also, you really got the better of her, and you had a lot of reach on her, so you used that. I mean, I saw you throw some jumping knees. I saw you throwing a little bit of everything. I'm like, wow, for Laura's first fight, she's throwing everything in the kitchen sink. And then in the second round, she took you down, and you locked up just a triangle like you've been practicing jiu-jitsu for years. It was beautiful. Tell me about the fight, because it was very exciting from a spectator standpoint.
Thank you. So from the beginning, I was very, very calm, which even for my boxing fights, that wasn't unusual for me. I had felt very calm for those too. And in the very beginning, I right when I started getting hit in the face, I'm like, okay, I'm in a fight right now. And it took me like about 30 seconds to a minute to really find my range and realize kind of what was going on, and to relax a little bit more, just because I got super excited in the beginning. And then when I found my range, I had planned on throwing a flying knee. So I just waited for the right time. I waited for her to kind of come in a little bit, and I was able to land the first one. And then the second one I had missed, but I was just playing around, And for me, I really want to experiment as an amateur and kind of just try new things. And that's why I wasn't afraid to go for the triangle with jiu-jitsu. Like, I had a few things that I know I'm comfortable on the ground with, especially for only having about 1.5 years of jiu-jitsu. And I do want to continue to incorporate jiu-jitsu, especially when I'm, obviously, even though I am newer to it, I want to feel comfortable being on the ground as well, even though I am mostly comfortable exchanging and just throwing hands. But I want to continue to work on my arsenal and, my toolbox, and incorporate kicks and, everything else, wrestling. So I can't wait to incorporate that too as well.
Well, I heard Lenny say something after the fight, and you had Emmanuel Sanchez in your corner, who is, listen, he's one of the best fighters in the world. He fights at Bellator, and Lenny had said something about, he had kind of told you to look for that triangle. Tell me what he said to you in between rounds, because it was almost like he was looking in the crystal ball.
So when I had hit the ground, and, it's funny because we actually practiced the triangle in the back room a few times, and he had told me to grab because he saw that I was gonna. I think he knew that I was gonna go for it because he's seen me go for it in practice, and he had told me because I don't get at an angle enough, and he's like, grab your calf, grab your shin, and pull down, and that's what put her to sleep like immediately. So it's funny because in the video that B2 Series had posted, you can hear him kind of like him cutting off the word like grab your calf, like just hold on to it, and she's gonna go to sleep, and it worked. So.
Man, what an exciting debut, Laura. Really, I am looking forward to, I know you work hard. You're at one of the best schools in the country at Roufusport over there. You're training with, pros and amateurs. Is there many women over there for you to work with, or do you find yourself working with men most of the time?
It's a mix, but I do have some great women training partners too. Laura Sanchez, who's fighting, this week. She's fighting for PFL. And, she's a great training partner for me. I learn a lot from her. And there's also a lot of other women that I train with too. Amber Tucker, she trains jujitsu and everything, and she's an enthusiast, but she's an incredible athlete. And so I train with her a lot. And I really appreciate getting a lot of help from the women.
That's awesome. Listen, I can't wait to see your next fight. What do you see for the future? Are you guys currently looking for something else right now? Are you taking some time off? What do you see coming up in the next, couple months?
I wanted to take this month off for sure. I considered fighting at the end of the month, but I just wanted a break, especially from the adrenaline dump and all the emotions that I experienced from the fight week. So I'm planning on June or July is what I'm expecting for my next fight. And I really can't wait. I know I need mentally and physically, I'm like, okay, I need a little break beforehand, but I'm ready to get back in there.
Well, listen, Lenny gets a lot of support from, sponsors and the Albanian community. They love their fighters. Did you feel that as well? Did you feel that emotional support? Because your community, your country where you're originally from, your blood, they love their fighters, give them a lot of support. Did that kind of help you? Did you feel that too?
I felt that a lot. And especially after the fight, I think now that I can call myself an MMA fighter officially. I think now, I'm getting more attention from the Albanian community, and I really appreciate it. And just the MMA community in general too, like people, in Milwaukee who train MMA, everything. So it feels really good to have that support system, and, I'm very grateful for it.
Well, Laura Turzenski, I can't wait to see what's next. Before we go, give out some shout outs or to some love to, whoever's going to be watching this and who's going to be rooting for you to get your second victory.
Absolutely. So first I'd like to thank Roufusport, of course, Parkside Family Restaurant in Sheboygan. That's Lenny's sister's restaurant. Plaza Pizza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Lenny's parents' place. The best pizza. And then Harry's Prohibition Bistro in Sheboygan. They have amazing pizza. It's great atmosphere as well. And Haiti Mehmeti, who's a great support system of ours and an amazing musician. And Lenny Rufati, of course, who's been my number one and an amazing support. And it was awesome having him in my corner.
Laura, once again, thanks for giving me some time. Stay healthy. I know you're going to keep training hard, and I'll be looking, I'll be following on social media for that, for that announcement when you're going to do it again, because I know a lot of people, can't wait, because women's MMA is really right now taking off. There's a lot of amazing women in the sport. And I look forward to, getting your name and getting involved and, mixing it up. And I think the future is very bright for you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It was great talking to you too. Also, one more sponsor, MMA Tea Company, of course, for the amazing T-shirts that they designed for me. And it was great talking to you too. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to talking to you again, and especially off my next win.
Laura Turzenski, remember the name. She's coming to you, to a cage near you.
Yep. Thank you.